Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. This morning I've made it out early for a sunrise shoot over to Malden, to the boat wreck here. Now I visited here quite some time ago on a scouting mission, and what I knew at that time is I needed to obviously visit this location at high tide, and today high tide corresponds with sunrise within about 5 to 7 minutes. So hopefully it's going to work out really quite well. And I've also been waiting for a day like today that's a little bit chilly, but it's going to be a clear horizon for the actual sunrise itself. So I've got a really interesting subject matter within this wreck of the boat here, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with several images. Sunrise is in about 10 minutes, high tide is about another 5 to 7 minutes after that. So yeah, starting off with the images already. Let's try and find a good few compositions. For the first composition I've got set up is a camera in landscape orientation with the 24 to 105 lens on at 24mm, just getting some lovely detail of the side of the wreck here, working out really quite nice. So the camera's set up, as I say, f11, ISO 50, 0.8 of a second is the base image. However, I am bracketing 2 stops either side, just because I want to obviously retain all of that detail in the sky and not blow it out, and obviously retain all the detail in the foreground as well. If I had a filter on, like a grad filter, it's going to be really difficult to position the grad filter because of obviously the shape of the land and obviously where the wreck is as well. You don't really want the grad filter to come down and sort of obscure the actual wreck itself. So yeah, bracketed images is what I'm probably going to be doing a lot of today, because there's some really interesting foreground, and like I was saying earlier, as the tide's going to come in, that foreground's obviously going to get swallowed up, hopefully, as the high tide comes in, and yeah, we get that lovely light from the sun coming through as well, lighting up the side of the boat. Not sure if you can see me that well, but there's the camera picking it up now. So sun's actually just risen, which is fantastic. Yeah, what a glorious time of day this is. I've swapped over to the 17 to 40mm lens. What I was actually thinking when I was trying to work out my actual position of where I am at for the actual sunrise, I thought a wider angle would be really good, getting some more detail in the foreground here of all the other bits and bobs of the boat wrecks as well. Keeping obviously the main boat wreck over to the right hand side of the composition, sun rising pretty much over to the left hand side of the rule of thirds as well, so working out a really lovely image. Again, obviously bracketing the images as well. Base image f11, ISO 50, 1/10 of a second, bracketing obviously those 5 images, and obviously we'll then stitch them together in post as well. It's just making sure that you keep on adjusting the light for the light meter on the back of the camera as well. Works out really well when you're obviously doing this type of photography. Moving around to this side of the boat now, just so I can get some lovely side light on the actual boat itself and some of the objects in the foreground as well. Working out really lovely with this golden light this morning, and well worth that effort of getting out of bed and coming out to capture this time of day. Settings again for the camera pretty much the same, f11, ISO 50, 1/15 of a second is the base image, slightly underexposing for the base image, and yeah, it's working out really quite well, taking again obviously the bracketed images. Lining up for the next shot here with the camera right pointing at the front of the boat, working out really quite nice. Now what I'm waiting for is for the sun just to rise that little bit more just above the top of the boat to then obviously be able to create that starburst effect. So got the camera set up on f22 just so I can obviously create that sunburst effect over the front of the boat. And yeah, just waiting for that little bit longer. Still bracketing the images because I want obviously to pull out some of the detail in the foreground. Yeah, I don't know if that composition will work. Yeah, I think actually, to be fair, it's going to probably work a lot better as a landscape orientation. That's going to work out all right. Let's get that leveled up though. Yeah, that's working out good now. Just coming above the boat itself. So focusing throughout today, I've been focusing onto the actual boat itself. That's the main subject. That's the thing that I need, obviously, in sharp focus. Everything else, f11 should be reasonably sharp or acceptably sharp. f22, yeah, obviously you do run that risk of diffraction, but to be fair, I'm never too fussed about that. Yeah, that's good. I'm liking that one now. Oh, what an amazing morning to be out. So with high tide been and gone now, unfortunately it didn't rise the tide as high as I was hoping for. When I was looking at some of the apps to predict the tide, it was about yeah, a good sort of 20 centimetres lower than high tide earlier on, which would obviously be in the middle of the night. So yeah, wouldn't obviously got sunrise at that time, would you? However, yeah, it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, you've got the sun rising, obviously clear conditions, the tide obviously rising and coming in as well. You've sort of got to be really super lucky to actually get the really good tide that would obviously try and minimize some of the foreground. But to be fair, yeah, I think I've actually really enjoyed being out this morning, capturing these images. Now I've had a look at another composition, so let's try and capture that one now. Making it out on this mud bank, it's yeah, very muddy, but and I don't think I want to stand in one position for too long because I think I might well sink. However, really liking the composition. Boat this time over to the left hand side of the composition, the rising sun pretty much in the centre. Taking two images, one at f11 and one at f22. Yeah, just obviously work out and obviously bracketing the images as well, and we'll see which one I prefer once I get back to the computer. But yeah, what a glorious morning to be out and listening to the wildlife around here. There is so many wading birds out there getting their breakfast. And it sounds like they're thoroughly enjoying themselves this morning, and why not? I mean, what a glorious morning. Hardly any wind at all, glorious sunshine. Yeah, what more can you really want? temperature not too bad, to be fair. I thought it would be a lot colder than it actually was. I had to scrape the car this morning to get the ice off the car. So yeah, but actually it's not as bad as I was thinking. So all in, worked out a really good shoot this morning. Making it up here to the vantage point, working out really well. I've really enjoyed it this morning, coming out here and taking obviously images of this boat at sunrise, and it's something that I've always wanted to do since I first scouted the location. Yeah, probably a good sort of six, 7 months ago, if not a bit more. Yeah, really enjoyable, really enjoyable. What more can you say? And hopefully the images have done it justice. And yeah, it's quite surprising really, as I was walking back up to this little bit and taking obviously the final image, thinking to myself, well, it's a complete juxtaposition to the vlog that I did last week, and which was only yesterday for me, but last week for you guys, when I was obviously at the woodland, and yeah, not really feeling too enthusiastic about the location, the compositions, the actual shoot in general. But this morning, different conditions, different subject, yeah, totally polar opposites, and feel really over the moon about just being out here and just witnessing nature, to be fair. Witnessing the sunrise, witnessing the birds feeding and the noises that they create as well, which is fantastic to witness in the morning. Yeah, what more can you really want? The fact that I'm here with a camera, that's pretty much an excuse, to be honest. I would probably be here regardless. Yeah, it's a great time of day to be out and witness. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and until next time when I'm back out with my camera, take care.